Overview of the ample reserve regime. The Fed implements monetary policy with the aim of keeping the market determined federal funds rate (FFR) in the FOMC target range. The federal funds rate is the interest rate at which depository institution, or what we term banks, borrow reserve from and lend reserve to one another on an overnight basis to meet short-term funding needs. The FOMC, knowing the linkage from the setting of their policy rate to economic activity, as highlighted in Figure 1, decides to the appropriate target range of the FFR, knowing it will affect the current level and expected path of short-term interest rate, which influence long-term interest rate and overall financial condition. These financial conditions in turn influence the decision of consumers and producers, thus affecting overall spending, investment, production, employment, and inflation in United States. This is the Figure 1, transmission of monetary policy starting from FOMC set federal funds target range, implementation regime, and affects current and expected short-term interest rate, and then it will affect longer-term interest rate and overall financial condition, and after that it will influence consumer and producer spending decision, and will progress toward maximum employment and stable prices. Banks and few other governance monetary entities bilaterally conduct federal funds trade at different rate and quantity. The FRBNY publishes the effective FFR, the volume-weighted median of all Fed funds trade, each day. When the FOMC sets a target for the FFR, its goal is to have trades occur near the target so that the effective FFR is within the target range. Once the FOMC determines the appropriate stance of policy or position of the policy rate target range, the implementation framework, represented as the orange arrow in Figure 1, ensures that target transmit to market interest rate, from the FFR to broader interest rate as well. Today, the Federal Reserve is operating with ample reserve in the banking system and is relying on its administered rates, primarily interest on reserve, to steer the market FFR into the FOMC target range. To understand the Fed's implementation framework, it is easiest to consider the stylized model of demand for and supply of reserve shown in Figure 2. The blue downward sloping curve represents bank demand for reserve. Bank demand reserve for variety of reasons, including meeting intraday payment needs, earning interest on this high-quality liquid asset, and meeting internal as well as regulatory liquidity risk management constraint. Okay, so this one is Figure 2, ample reserve regime. The y-axis is discount rate, and this one is FFR, Fed funds rate. The overnight reserve repurchase rate is below FFR, while the IOR rate, interest on reserve, is above the FFR. So this curve show you the demand curve, and the x-axis is reserve. As you can see, as the reserve is being higher, the discount rate is being smaller. And this is the supply curve, showing that no matter how high or low the discount rate, it does not have any impact to reserve. Okay, there are three segments of the demand curve. First, the top of the curve, which is truncated by the Fed discount rate. This flat portion incorporates the fact that banks should not be willing to pay more for reserve in the market than the interest rate charged by the Federal Reserve to banks for loans that it can obtain through the Federal Reserve discount window. Hence, the discount rate sets a ceiling on Fed fund transaction. Second, the middle of the demand curve that is steeply downward sloping. This portion of the curve captures the idea that the lower the cost of overnight borrowing in the federal funds market, the more reserve banks are generally inclined to hold. That is, the opportunity cost of holding fund decline, and having more reserve helps them not be caught short of fund. Third, the bottom of the curve is where the quantity of reserve in the banking system is significantly large and the demand curve is nearly flat, as indicated by the horizontal region. The transition from the steep portion of the curve to the nearly flat portion illustrates that as a quantity of reserve in the banking system increase, at some point, banks do not find much benefit from holding additional reserve other than earning the interest the Fed pays on this balance. As a result, the demand curve flattens out at a level that is close to the interest rate earned on reserve, the IOR rate, or the interest rate paid on excess reserve. This is the key interest rate that the Fed administers. To be ample, the supply curve must intersect the demand curve where it is flat. This location is consistent with the key feature of an ample regime, which is one where a central bank does not need to actively react to small movement in the supply of reserve to keep the level of the FFR in the FOMC desired target range. That is, if the supply curve shifts a little to the left or right because of factor outside the Fed's control, it will remain on the horizontal region of the demand curve, and therefore achieve nearly the same FFR. When supply is ample, the Fed relies on the settings of two of its administered interest rate, and in particular IOR, to control the level of federal fund rate. Looking at the bottom of the demand curve in figure 2, one sees the two critical administered rates, the IOR rate and the overnight reverse repurchase agreement ONRP offering rate. Each rate is available to a specific set of counterparties on particular fund deposit held at the Fed. The counterparties can decide if they want to deposit their fund at the Fed and earn the relevant standing rate, or lend it instead to another market participant at a negotiated rate in one of the various money market for fund. Because of this trade-off, one can think of the Fed administered rate as a reservation rate, the lowest rate that counterparties are willing to accept for lending out their fund. And they, the IOR rate and the overnight reverse repurchase rate, set a lower bar on the return a counterparty is willing to accept from others in money market. Hence, movements in the Fed administered rate directly help steer money market interest rate. The Fed's key administered rate is IOR, which is the interest rate that the Fed can pay banks on their reserve balance held by the Fed. While banks have several short-term investment options for their money, the IOR rate offers a safe overnight option to banks. Because IOR is a risk-free liquid investment option, banks will not lend reserve in the federal fund market for less than the IOR rate. In other words, the IOR serves as a reservation rate for banks. And if the FFR were to fall very far below the IOR rate, banks would borrow in the federal funds market and deposit those reserves at the Fed, earning a profit on the difference. This activity, known as arbitrage, is an important aspect of the way financial market and monetary policy implementation work. Arbitrage ensures that the FFR does not fall much below the IOR rate. Okay, this one is figure 3. How IOR acts as a reservation rate for banks to arbitrage across money market. So we have there like investment option. I think it's investment option for banks. They can deposit fund at the Fed, earn IOR, loan to a bank, earn FFR, or invest in treasury bill, earn bill rate. These financial incentives, i.e. reservation rate and arbitrage, ensure that when the Fed raises or lower the IOR rate, that the FFR also moves up or down. As such, the Federal Reserve steers the FFR into the target range set by the FOMC by adjusting the IOR rate. And because the Fed sets IOR directly, it serves as an effective monetary policy tool. In fact, IOR is the primary tool used by the Fed for influencing the FFR. However, not all institutions with reserve account can earn interest on their deposit at the Federal Reserve, and not all important institutions in financial market have access to Fed account. which meant that important short-term rate, including FFR, might drop below the IOR. So in 2014, the FOMC announced that it intended to use an overnight reverse repurchase facility to help control the FFR. The ONRP facility is a form of open market operation where the Fed interacts with many non-bank financial institutions such as large money market fund and government-sponsored entities. As highlighted in Figure 4, when one of these institutions used the ONRP facility, it essentially deposits reserve at the Fed overnight, receiving a security as collateral. The next day, the transaction is unwound and the institution earns the ONRP rate, which the Fed sets on the fund its deposit at the Fed. Because it is a risk-free option, this institution will never be willing to lend funds for lower than the ONRP rate. As such, the ONRP rate acts as a reservation rate. An institution can use it to arbitrage other short-term rates. Thus, the rate paid on ONRP transaction, which the Fed chooses to set below IOR, acts like a floor for the FFR and serves as a supplementary tool. Okay, so this one is Figure 4, ONRP transaction, illustration of an overnight reverse repurchase agreement transaction. The leg one is reserve balance fall, counterparty deposit funds at the Fed, financial institution deposit funds at the Fed. Meanwhile, Fed sells security to counterparty with commitment to buyback. And leg 2 is counterparty receive reserve balance rise, counterparty receive fund plus interest, and Fed buyback the security. The last administered rate, also featured in Figure 2, is the discount rate. As noted above, the discount rate is set above the target range. It tends to be set 50 basis point, half percentage point above the top of the target range. This tool is intended to serve as a ceiling for the traded level of the federal funds rate. Of course, the stigma associated with borrowing from the Fed dampens the discount rate effectiveness as ceiling, since the discount window serves more as a safety net for banks to borrow when there are stress in the markets. This administered rate is not directly influencing the FFR, and so it's not featured as one of the key rates to ensure day-to-day implementation policy. For the Fed's administered interest rate to be the key tool for interest rate control, reserve must remain ample. Over time, there are forces in the economy that slowly drain reserve from the banking system. The Fed maintains an ample supply by monitoring the level and conducting, when deemed appropriate, open market operation, or OMO, where it purchases securities and injects reserve into the banking system. This type of open market operation is a long-standing tool for the Fed. It was the key tool used before the crisis when implementing policy with limited reserve. Today and going forward, periodic open market operations are an important tool used to ensure that reserve remain ample so that the administered rate can continue to steer the FFR into the target range. To summarize, as presented in Table 1, the Fed chooses an implementation regime to ensure that when the FOMC sets a target range for the federal fund rate, that this setting is transmitted to financial market. The current regime choice is an ample reserve regime. In this regime, the supply of reserve is large enough that small shifts in this level have minimal impact on the FFR. This ample level means the Fed does not need to actively monitor and adjust the supply of reserve with daily open market operation. Instead, in this regime, the Fed relies on its administered price, with IOR being the primary tool and the rate associated with the ONRP facility being supplementary tool. Because reserves are ample, this administered rate acts as a reservation rate for banks and other key non-bank financial counterparties that influence market rate when they are deciding where to invest their marginal excess fund. Arbitrage between alternative short-term investment options ensures money market interest rate converge and are related to the Fed financial rate, and the ONRP serves as a floor for the FFR. Finally, the Fed monitors the level of reserve because there is a gradual drain in reserve by a factor outside the Fed's control. When reserves are just to be getting close to not being ample, the Fed will purchase securities through open market operation, which inject reserve in the banking system to boost their level. Okay, so this is for table 1, key concept of an ample reserve regime. First one, we get the policy rate. Fed choice is federal funds rate. Role and description. The way the Fed conducts monetary policy. The FOMC sets the target range or standoff policy with the goal of moving the economy toward its dual mandate, as depicted in figure 1. Reserve level. The Fed choice is ample. Level of reserve in the banking system. The Fed supplies a level of reserves large enough so that small movement in this level do not influence the Fed, the FFR. This level of reserve intersects the horizontal region of the demand curve and in the money market diagram. This relatively high level implies the tools the Fed relies on for control of interest rate are its administration rate. The third one is policy tools, also the last one. Interest on reserve, IOR, primary tool of monetary policy implementation, IOR, is an administered rate that acts like a reservation rate for banks and through arbitrage, helps steer the FFK into the FOMC target range. Overnight reverse repurchase agreement, or an RRP, supplemental tool of monetary policy implementation. The ONRRP rate is an administered rate that acts like a reservation rate for a large number of financial institutions that help set a floor for the FFR. Discount rate, tool of monetary policy implementation. The discount rate is an administered rate that is set above the target range, with the intention to serve as ceiling for the FFR. Stigma of borrowing from the Fed may dampen the effect of being a firm ceiling. Open market operation, or OMO. Tools of monetary implementation. OMO are conducted periodically to maintain ample reserve.